This getting ahead class, I did not understand it as it applied to me. It said that I was in poverty. At that time, I was taking out student loans, so I was like, I'm not poor. I got thousands of dollars and I'm paying my bills, but it didn't hit me that that was a means to an end. It was debt. So actually, the money was borrowed, and I know I had to pay it back, but I wasn't ready to do that.
No one likes the word poverty. It's a dirty word, kind of, you know. I mean, some people are in poverty that don't even know they're in poverty. So and not only kids, but grown adults, are in poverty and they don't even know it. They're paying their bills, they're putting food on the table, they're driving a car, they're living in a house, and they still don't know that actually they're still in poverty. So I was in that situation of poverty. I didn't have anything. I didn't have my driver's license. Didn't have a vehicle. Didn't have really clothes on my back. That's it. Didn't have proper meals. I was very, very sick physically and mentally.
Like all those who are struggling, got kids, trying to feed them, trying to get them to the doctor, trying to get them off to school. You know, we go through a lot in our property, and the economy is not, seems like it's not doing any better.
And not being able to pay a light bill or making the decision, should I feed my kids or should I pay my light bill?
It's no fun. It's very hard. It's hard to get out of. Once you get there, it's very hard to get out of poverty.
We don't have the money to budget. It's real hard to say make a budget. You are living on the street. That's where you're getting your resources is from the street. Poverty, you're getting by. You're living. Anytime you can wake up in the morning, you got by the last day. And now you're looking at the next day and how am I going to get by?
Failure is so familiar that anything outside of failure is scary.
And how you get treated is really horrible when you're in poverty. People treat you like you're nothing, and you start to believe that after a while.
Well, how do we expect for us to survive when they don't want to give us no jobs? Nobody want to hire you.
A lot of anger in me because things were like not working for me, and I just always thought there was no hope.
When you're in poverty and you've been beat down so much in life, you don't know where up is.
I wasn't thinking that you can be born into it, and which I was, but I wasn't thinking that you can be born into it and then that's just your way of living because that's all you know. I didn't realize that, and that's really how I grew up.
I remember being absolutely shocked. And then I also remember seeing myself in a lot of elements. And I remember thinking as we went along was I didn't realize how deep poverty ran, not only in my line of thinking, but also in my environment, in my psyche, in my family, in every fabric of my life. I was just really surprised that how it connected, and it explained a lot of things too. I think that's what really was beneficial for me the most, is because it explained why it was happening and why I couldn't quite break out of it.
When you have sometimes all walks of life, you don't always have people from strict poverty. You have people that have been in poverty, maybe they weren't even in poverty, but now they are, and they put themselves there for some reason or another.
And not everybody is there on their own accord. I learned that. I mean, I guess I'm sure people now are learning that more days with the way the economy is now, that it's not everybody's fault that they have to be homeless. It's not everybody's fault, that they live in poverty.
It reminded me a lot of like a cobweb, that even if you break a cobweb, there's still strands, And then in some areas of my life, I broke some bonds that had to do with poverty, but then there were still other strands, and I couldn't understand why I was still being held captive by something I felt should have been eliminated, but wasn't.
Then to learn how there's other people with different walks of life who have a worse life than what I was living, it brought me through on self-controlling of my attitude and my anger.
When I realized that I wasn't by myself, that was probably the best moment for me.
It's terrifying because I know what it feels like to fail. But to succeed, and this is where Bridges Out of Poverty came into mind, to succeed takes me so far out of my element in my family, in my environment, that I will be scrutinized.
Poverty to a lot of people think it's you're stupid, you're dumb, you haven't ever learned, you're ignorant. And that's really not what poverty is. Poverty is merely lack of resources. You have not been taught that. And this is why the program Bridges Out of Poverty is so wonderful.